Right. Oops. Hang on a moment. Let's put some bit of sound on. Let's see if it's going to work. Okay, bear with me a moment. Let me just move that up there, move that down there, move that over there. Let's see. Is there anybody there tonight? I'll try something very technical tonight with 4 different browsers all at once. Bear with me. So let's see if there's anybody there. It might all crash and go horribly wrong. It probably will do. But we'll try. I'll try to show you the working of the new trading system on the new website that's coming very soon. But in order to show you buying and selling, I need to connect up several browsers to the several different views of the website, several different browser windows to YouTube all at the same time, as well as the YouTube browser window. If that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. Anyway, not to worry. Right, so good evening. Let's see who's there. Kevin T, good evening. Peter Estella, hello, hello. Is it warm? It's been lovely today, isn't it? Evening, Rob. Gary, hello from your back garden, indeed. Evening, Ollie. Mark from Stratford-on-Avon, good evening. Evening from Solihull. Excellent, there's a few there, then that's good. Marvellous. I hope you all had a jolly time at the weekend, those of us who came. I will be sticking out an email sometime to see if we can get if anyone who took the photographs, video clips, bits and bobs like that from Paul's meetup, and then I'll gather them all up for a live stream. It will be next week sometime. I'm away for the next few days, working on a little TV job, so I won't be around for Friday nights or Sunday nights stream, but should be back, all being well, hand the set over on Monday morning, travel back Monday afternoon. Yeah, so Tuesday night's live stream should be all right, but I'll try and remember to stick out an email before the weekend, or schedule one to go out or something, just to remind you to email or WhatsApp me pictures or whatever you can do. Then we can gather all those up and have a look what everybody else missed, and then look forward to the next one, which is the 12th and 13th of September. Yes, the Up North weekend. I'll get the details up of that a bit soon as well. But basically Saturday in York, York Museum. There's 20 something odd working models there. I think Robert's aiming for 25. I think they're nearly all in. There's about 20 there at the moment, I think. Big display of working models for the next few years, biggest probably in the country. So that'd be good to see. And then Sunday at Woodbank Penny Arcade, which has been extended again since we were there last year. So yeah, even bigger again, even more stuff. And then Saturday night we're going for a meal in York. It's an Italian restaurant if anybody wants to join us. So there we are. Details of all that will be up soon. That one's a sort of a free event basically. Yeah, should be another good weekend. Marvellous. My screens are pretty size tonight, and apologies, I've just because I've got so many browsers on the go trying to line things up. Andrew said, thanks to Paul for a great Sunday. Indeed, very good, wasn't it? There's a good walk round video appeared on Facebook. Don't know who took it though. Excellent. Ollie said he had a brilliant weekend in Essex and Clacton Saturday evening, Sunday at Paul. Sinclair, very big thank you to Paul. Very enjoyable meetup indeed. It was a good one, wasn't it? It was over 50 people. Somewhere between 50 and 60 people, I think, turned up. So I think it's the biggest one we've done yet. And I think Paul's even been daft enough to say, I did hear him say next year's date. So the first Sunday or the first weekend in July, put in your diaries for next year, whatever the first Saturday and Sunday is in July, pencil it in. And we'll do it all again. Marvellous. Good fun, isn't it? Paul said the 4th of July. There we are. Well, that's a good day to remember, isn't it? So it'll be the third, presumably the 3rd and 4th then, is it? Whatever the Saturday and Sunday is next year. Let me just scrolling quickly through the calendar. July the 3rd and 4th, yes. So pencil that one in. Or pen it in, probably. I haven't, where have I done? Oh, here we are. Hang on a moment, excuse me. My great big head and belly in shot, do you? Paul's booklet. Paul Mitchell collection book. Nice, well, hardback and softback. There we go. How many pages? Does it tell you how many pages it is? I don't know. A lot. Look, can you see me flicking to the camera? You can see what I can. It doesn't really show very well, does it? Oops. Where's everything's back to front, of course, on the camera, isn't it? But you get the idea. Oh, I haven't had time to read it yet. I've been a busy bunny. Yeah. Loads and loads of pictures. Great book. We will get a batch. I said to Paul, if he gets me a batch at the warehouse when people are dropping off collecting machines, whatever, you can always buy one. 20, I think it was £20 softback, 25 hardback. I bought a couple of hardbacks. I'll maybe do one as a giveaway or something sometime. Maybe a Christmas raffle or something. I think you can also get it on Amazon, but it's a bit more expensive on Amazon because Amazon costs some postage and all that sort of thing. So, yeah. If you want to pick one up at some time, if you're not in a desperate hurry, if you let me know, then I can kind of put an order list together and get a bundle together for when you're picking up your machines or dropping stuff off the next auction or whatever. So just let me know, send me an email or WhatsApp or something. I'll put a list together. People, if you mention it in the chat here, I forget because I can't write stuff down quick enough usually when I'm trying to do 101 things at once. But yes, good book. About time there was a new slot machine book out, wasn't there? So well, there we are. Well, he says definitely the biggest meetup he's been to. Yes, and got his sign. Oh, got his book signed by Paul. Yeah, I'm hoping there's going to be quite a few people turn up to the up north one this year. I've been desperately trying to get some of the southern softies to travel all the way up north. I know it's a bit of a long way, but you know they come down from up north to south. Let's get them to go the other way is the problem. We had people from Yorkshire. Corey came down from Blackpool. I think he's probably the furthest travelled from Blackpool, which, you know, for someone who's blind, that's pretty good going, isn't it? All the way from Blackpool. I think probably Ollie was from West. Dorset is probably the furthest from West, and everybody in between, really. So yeah, good assortment of people. So hopefully we can repeat it in September with people from all over, and make another great weekend of it. And then yeah, wish I had time to organise more events. I just haven't. It's so busy this next few days. Well, next few weeks really. It's crazy, but there we are. Such is life. We shall onwards and upwards. Pete says thanks to Paul for a fantastic day indeed. So let me try and show you if I can get it to work. Oh, I'm melting here. Progress on the new marketplace system for the new website. And then I'll explain what's going to go on with it. So hang on a moment. So I've got 3 different browsers here. So I've got basically signed in as 2 different buyers, so we can see the bidding working against each other, and the seller. This is a bit complicated, so bear with me. Here we go. Right, so this is the seller's view. Obviously this is just test data and it's a bit messy, but bear with me. So each thing comes on a little card. So in the marketplace there'll be a mixture of things for sale and also wanteds. So if someone's got a wanted advert up, a bit like on the current Coldcon site, where's the wanteds? A bit like here. On the new one you'll be able to basically respond directly. We probably won't do slot machines to start with. I'm going to start with cheaper items till the system beds in, and then decide whether to do machines or not. I need to figure out how to charge enough for that essentially. But you get the idea. If somebody wants something and you've got something for sale, you'll be able to offer your thing for sale directly to them, but also to anybody else at the same time. So let me show you the idea. So here, for example, so I'm signed in this account I can sell on, yes. Obviously it's all just Circus Post, this is what I'm playing at with at the moment, just for thingy. But somebody wants this one, so I click on I've got to make some better buttons, but I click on the appropriate link and I just pop in a couple of little details here, condition of my thing, a private note to myself. That's like if it's a stock number, if you're, if your business, you want to put a stock code number in or something like that. And then if you can just about see your asking price. That's it. Press click continue, gives you a screen to upload a photograph or multiple photographs. And that's it, you're done. Simple as that. So you haven't got to type loads and loads of stuff in like you have to do with eBay or anything else like that. So that's how you get something on. I then just check, or somebody will just check that it's a suitable thing to list on the website. So if you try to list, I don't know, vapes or something, obviously it won't go through. If it's a circus site and you're listing a circus poster, well, that's fine. But the principal idea of it will be very easy to list stuff, because the big database of things, you just have a look through. Imagine it's a slot machines and you've got a slot machine handle or something. Find the slot machine handle page, click it, and then I've already got one of those. It doesn't show you, does it? Let's find one that I haven't got already. That one maybe, I don't know. Well, I've already got all these on there, but essentially it gives you a button to say sell one of these. It's that simple. So most of the work's done for you. The description's done, the history's done, etc, etc, etc. You're just selling one of those. So that's how sellers go up. So then your cards, if you're a seller, show in blue. So let's put some bids on Bertram Mills. So you see at the moment, if I zoom in on this one, that will probably make more sense. Because this little thermometer will make a bit more sense at the moment. Yeah. So it works. So the principle here is people can, just like if you're negotiating with somebody in the pub or a mate or doing a deal face to face at a car boot sale or an antiques fair or whatever, you know, seller starts high, don't they? Buyer starts low, and they both move a bit, and eventually you meet at a deal in the middle, shake hands, and off you go. That's how dealings work for thousands of years, isn't it? So here, for example, we set, I don't know if you can see, it might be too small on the screen, but the seller has set their initial asking price at £15, okay? So if I go over into one of the buyer browsers, let me just see if this is going to work. I need to click on, bear with me, buyer A, here we go. So if you're a buyer, your cards will appear green if you're currently leading the bidding, or red if you've been outbid, or white if you're not doing anything. And blue are the ones that are things you're selling. So it's kind of color coded, you'll soon get the hang of it. So Bertram Mills, so you see, there's like £15 and asking. So if I want to bid on that, I click the bid on button. Make a bid, here we are, make it a little bit bigger. So there's a minimum bid calculated, so it doesn't start everything off at stupid money. But so if I put a bid in at a £5, here we are, I'll put a bid in at the £5. Okay, go back to the main thing again. Where are we? So you see now it's gone green, Bertram Mills. I'm down here at the bottom, it's got a little me logo, if you can see it, at £5 bid. Asking it's 15, it says here, look, asking £15, bid of £5, which is my bid. There's a gap of £10 between the two of us, okay? This kind of this light pinky colour. If I then go to the another buyer here, should we zoom in again a little bit? Oh, hang on a minute, let me try and zoom into this one. Here we are, that's better. And just refresh this. Refresh this window, have I? So here we are, Bertram Mills posters. Look, it's got £15 and asking price from the seller, a £5 bid price. So let's say I will think, oh, I'll have a go at that. I'll bid, what shall I bid? £7. There we are, I'll bid £7. Place a bid of £7. Go back to the marketplace. So you see now on this one, the seller's asking 15. The bidding started at £5 down the bottom there, and here's me some way up the thermometer. My bid's £7. Like it's green because I'm in the lead. So if we go back now to buy number A, just refresh this screen. Everything will refresh automatically once it's all live online. Obviously, this is just on my system at the moment. So you see here, this one who had the £5 bid, he's now been outbid. So the card's now gone red. He's outbid. So I'm down here, look, me at £5. The bid is now above me here. The seller's still asking 15. So now if I go over to the seller, refresh my selling page, go. I've got here, look, it says attention to in my selling thing. So over here, Bertram Mills, it tells me I've got to respond. Look, respond within 3 days to keep it alive. So it's an idea just to keep the bidding alive, just to keep things, you know, so if anybody disappears, the stuff just disappears off the site. Unlike eBay, stuff sits there for 6 years, no one ever bids for it, and the person's probably died or left the country or whatever. On here, if stuff isn't bid for within a certain time, I'll set 3 days at the moment, then it will just disappear, and we'll consider the person doesn't want to sell it anymore, or they've sold it, or they've changed their mind, or the dog's eating it, or whatever. So I now have got, I'm asking £15, the highest bid at the moment is 7. So if I go on here, this page is a bit scruffy at the moment, excuse me because I haven't finished it yet, but I can do 3 things. So it tells me here I'm asking £15. My highest bid is 7. I've got 2 bids. There's a gap of £8, and there's just a percentage thing I use to calculate things with. So I can either accept that £7 bid, the highest bid, or I can stand firm on my asking price of 15, or I can say, shall I reduce it a bit? Maybe I'm being a bit greedy. So I can reduce it to say 12. Divide the asking price. There we are. Get back over here, and there you'll see start at 15, but the asking price has now come down to 12. Asking 12, highest bid is 7, gap's only now a fiver. So back over to buyer A, refresh this, there we are. So I was outbid at where did I bid? I bid a fiver, bids at now 7. The asking price has now come down to 12. You'll get notifications of this, it'll pop up or ping you an email or to your phone or something or other. So I might think, £12, okay. Maybe I'll bid a tenner. See how I do. £10, there we are. Back to the marketplace. You see now it's got a hotter pink. As it gets closer, the colour gets hotter. So as a very quick visual scan, you can see that, it's getting pretty close. You need to act fast. So it's gone back green again because I'm back in the lead again with my £10 bid. You'll see I'm here, I climb up, sellers come down, go over to B, this one who was in the lead, refresh that one, is now outbid, his card's gone red, you're outbid, again you'll get a notification you've been outbid, do you want another bid or not, whatever. If you're selling, back over to seller again, a lot of jumping around, isn't it, with 3 screens, but it seems to be working okay. So here we are, it's pretty close now. 3 bids, look, gap is closing, it tells us there. Oops. Oh, just about to swear, excuse me. There we go, just highlight it so you can see there. And again, I get a little notice here that I've got some things to look at. Okay, so I've got a long page and not noticed. Asking 12, I'm asking 12. I've got a bid of 10, I can respond to that. This time, shall I say I'll buy it, I'll sell it. So I'll accept the highest price now. Click that. There we are, deal's done. So once I've done a deal, I get what I call a deal room at the moment. Need to think of a better word, but that will do for the moment. The idea is a secret place. It's just between you and the seller. There'll be a few details here. Confirm your agreement. So you're confirming that you're happy to sell this for £10. You click confirm on there. So that's stage 1 done. We go over to the correct buyer, which I think is not that one, is it? It's this one. Hang on a minute, let me get the right window up. That one. Refresh this. See, now it's gone greyed out. It's greyed out. Deal's been struck at £10. It's a deal on the thermometer thing there, on the scale there. I've now got a little tension thing, which tells me agreement confirmation needed. So I now need to confirm I'm happy to pay £10 for it. Yeah. It also tells me on my leading tab here, you can filter stuff out. Same thing, the one things you're bidding on and da 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 da. Let's go back to here. So again, I click on this and I get the same screen basically as the seller, just the other way around. I'm happy to pay £10 for this. Yeah, okay. There's a message bit, so you can say things like how much to post. I'll put in there, how much to post, please. Question mark, send a message. There we are, back over on the seller again. Refresh this. So the seller's now got a message here, look, how much to post please? So you might say, oh, £3. There we are, PayPal, whatever. Sort it out amongst yourselves. We don't take money, you do the deal amongst yourselves. Meet in the car park. Pay for it in gold bullion. I don't care. Do whatever you like. £3 PayPal. There we are. Back over on the buyer again. There we are. £3 PayPal. So we can say, great. Not even spell. Great. I've sent you £13 total. Address. 123 High Street, whatever. Send the message back. Back over on seller. I've done this in the wrong order really, but you get the idea. Back over on seller. When it logs in, it will tell him again. It pings up on a message that you've got a message from the other buyer, etc. Yep, it sent me £13. Lovely, and that's his address to post to. Fantastic. I confirm I've got the payment. Clicking off there. That's my side of it done. A few days later, buyer gets it. Confirms they've got it. There you go. So once both sides have confirmed that they've got the goods, got the money, the system will ping you an email, sort of a receipt, basically a PDF with your copy of the details of what you sold, what you bought, how much for, etc. Copies of the messages. And then a few days after that, everything is deleted off the system. Don't keep any history. All we keep is the picture of the thing and the price it sold for, just to build into the price database like everything else. But all your bidding history, all your buying history, all your selling history, all your private negotiations, how much money you took, how much money you spent, who you've been messaging with, it's all totally wiped off the system. Can't be traced back, can't be linked back from the photographs, can't be linked back from the price history, nothing. So, unlike every other marketplace in the land, which now reports everything to Rachel Reeves, you might not be doing anything wrong, you might not care. But I don't think it's right, personally. I don't think it's anyone else's business. So we just quite simply delete it all. Also gets around a heap of data protection issues and data retention issues and all that jazz, because we don't have to deal with that because we don't give any data. Personal data, simple as that. So there we are. So that's it, essentially. So we bought that for £10, and then it should appear, I don't know if it does yet, because I don't know if I've programmed this bit yet, but in theory, if we go to the Bertram Mills surplus poster history page, yeah, there we are, it will appear there. Hang on a minute, I need to get the right screen up. Seller page, let me just go back to here, there we go, scroll up here. Objects, here we are. It's a bit scruffy at the moment, as I say. So this would be like a database of all different things, like the database of all different slot machines, or all different books, or all different whatever. So Bertram Mills, the one we just bought. Price history. Here we go. We sold an example on the marketplace on this date for £10. That's all the history we keep. So you can't click that and find out who bought it. You can't click that and find out who sold it. There's no sort of feedback things you can delve into, etc. The only thing it says on the marketplace, just to give you an idea, somewhere, if I go onto a seller's one, let me go onto this one in a moment, there we go. I'm shopping around a lot of different things today. For example, here under this one, look, it will say seller 13 deals completed. So it just gives you an idea that the person, the anonymous person you're dealing with, has a bit of history buying and selling with the thing, but you can't see what they bought, what they sold, or who they've been dealing with. Hopefully that makes sense. It's been a very complicated thing to program. It's about 1,000 hours gone into this so far. Trying to make something really simple that's very complicated underneath. It's quite a tricky thing, but that's the principle of it. So sellers can set a price and come down. Different buyers can bid up. Other people can enter the marketplace as well. So if you've got somebody holding out for a high price on something, and you've got one, and you think, well, hang on a minute, it tells you how many bidders are in there. 5 bidders on this one, for example. Well, you know, and the seller's holding out for £15. You know, bidding's at £8. And you think, well, I've got one of those. I'll sell mine for £8. Well, you list yours for, say, a tenner. Chances are that high bidder is going to jump from that listing to your listing, do a deal on yours. So the greedy seller is going to lose out because they're holding out for too high a price. The sensible seller is going to sell because they're being sensible. And the buyer gets to buy the thing they want to buy. So kind of everyone's a winner, really. There you go. Does that make sense to anybody? Ask away. Peter says, what will be the cost to use? Probably initially it will be the same as the Coldcon site. I should think. Something I've got to work out on is pricing, because there'll be no buyer's premium, no seller's commission. You do the deal directly with the person you do the deal with. So you do whatever deal you want. If you want to pay, if you want to do send money by PayPal, if you want to do meet in a lay-by and pay them cash, if you want to go down the pub and buy them a pint, don't care. Do whatever you want. Not my concern. All we're doing is providing the meeting point, basically. So yeah, it'd just be so much a year or so much a month or whatever, to buy stuff and sell stuff. Elaine, evening all. Sorry late. I had birthday company. Big thank you to Paul and Tracy for Sunday and Saturday in Clacton was great. Yes, absolutely. Ollie says nice to see you, and Roger again. Elaine on Sunday. Yes, yeah. I should really tap to himself. Kevin, what if you don't receive the item? Is there any seller's history? Yes, briefly. So after the so once the deal is done, we keep, I don't know how long for yet. I've got to work that one out, but probably 2 or 3 weeks. The whole point is, if you saw in the flow, the person confirms they got the money, the other person confirms they got the goods, then you're both happy, then it all gets deleted. While only one's clicked and the other one hasn't, then we'll keep them for a month or something, just in case you have any disputes. But like anything, it's due diligence, isn't it? It's be sensible. Either meet the person, hand over your money and get the goods at the same time, send a bank transfer that can be traced, send a PayPal thing that you can get your money back if the goods doesn't arrive. Just use common sense, you know. I think the reality is no one's likely to log into this site to try and screw somebody over a slot machine spare part or a circus book or a whatever. Not when they can scam people on eBay for iPhones and things. So, you know, I don't anticipate it being much of a risk in that respect. If it is, we'll deal with it at the time. Obviously, we'll have email addresses and IP addresses of computers and things. So if in a very unlikely event that there was some scam which wasn't obvious, which is highly unlikely just because of the value of stuff we're dealing with, but if it was, then those details could be handed over to the police if necessary. But once both parties are happy that the deal is good, the person said they've got the goods, the other person said they've got the money, that's when we wipe everything off. Because none of my business, none of anybody else's business as far as I'm concerned. So it keeps that anonymity, unlike every other marketplace on the internet. And how auctions always were and always have been, and probably won't be for much longer, because I think all this spying that they do on all the online websites, I think, I'm not sure how long it'll be before they come after auctioneers, but I don't think it'll be long. There you go, that's my opinion. So I'm being proactive and doing something about it. So to start off with, I shall be, let's put a prettier page up, shall we? Put some slot machines back up again. Hang on a minute. There we go. Pop it up, look at it. There we go. That's a bit prettier. So the system is now working on my test server, as you've seen. That's all been working live on my test server. So probably before I build the circus site, let me show you. Oh, I haven't put the picture up. That's a nuisance. I can't show you a picture. I was going to show you a picture. Never mind. I'll show you that next time. So principally the idea with the new websites is where we've got on here a section for circus, a section for slot machines, a section for advertising art, a section for automata, and so on, a section for fair, etc. Those will be separate independent websites, just focused on that one thing. So it means they can be a lot more specialized, presented a lot better, because trying to do everything in the same way, I thought was a great idea when I built this, but it just doesn't work, because different kind of, what would you call it, different subjects, different themes, whatever you want to call it, need to be presented in a different way. More, you know, circus is very much about the performers and about the performances, etc. There's not much to collect. Slot machines is obviously all about the slot machines. I quite like the history behind them with the people, but not many people, you know, that's kind of the focus of it, if you like, is it? Fairgrounds again is different. Automata again is different. Automata, you probably want a lot of videos to see all the stuff working. So all the sites need to be built slightly differently. But they'll share one big central marketplace. So On the slot machine site, you'd just have just the slot machine adverts. On the circus site, you'd have just the circus adverts. On the fairground site, you'd have just the fairground adverts, and so on. In the middle of all of that will be one marketplace that has everything on. So the way I'm visualizing this, and I've done a nice illustration, is if you imagine like a market square in your town, your town centre market square with buildings all around the edge. Imagine one's the Circus Museum, one's the Fairground Museum, one's the Automaton Museum, etc., with the market in the middle. So each of those individual museums has their gift shop, if you like, selling just circus knickknacks, just fairground knickknacks, just slot machine knickknacks. And they all have a stall in the marketplace as well where you can buy from. So you can wander around the marketplace, buy a bit of everything, or you can go into the individual museums and buy just those things, but also find out a lot more about those things, find out a lot more about circus stuff, or a lot more about slot machines, or a lot more about fairground in the kind of dedicated museum. So that's the easiest way to try and explain it. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. So the first bit of the website to be built will probably be the marketplace in the middle of everything. And I'll start that off with some of the stuff, some of my stuff. I was going to have my 1001 lot, so I don't need any more auction. So the smaller, cheaper stuff, things that are a few odd pounds, things that can be posted out. The all, I don't know, bits and bobs I've got. I've got some machine spares, I've got some books, I've got some posters, I've got, you know, bits and bobs like that. Doesn't matter what it sells for really, because it's all my stuff. They can be cheap. But it's a good testing ground for the system to make sure it works. Let people have a go, get the hang of it. Try some real sales across it, get some stuff flowing. And then perhaps I might invite or let one or two selected sellers on it to test it out from the seller's point of view. Once the system's nice and stable. Maybe I can persuade Roger to put all his spare parts on there, something like that. If anybody does fairground books or circus postcards or pier postcards or whatever, or something, you know, smallish, cheapish things that we can post out to start with, and then we'll build it up from there. As each of the individual sites get developed, those kind of marketplaces will mature into each of the different websites. So yeah, it's all looking good. It's all working now, which is a good thing. The individual site chunk, the circus bit, that's coming along nicely as well. I can't show you a huge lot on my test sites because there's not much data in it. That's all being processed separately. But yeah. People were asking me before the weekend, are we going to put slot machines on it? Possibly, maybe eventually. I've got a few spare slot machines I might just test it out with, just to try some higher price goods. Not immediately. Get it stable first. See how people respond to that. When we did the whole the ColdCon thing originally in the whole COVID nonsense era, we actually sold quite a lot of machines at good money, very good money, some of them. So that kind of proved the point that people would do that. They would bid decent money remotely for stuff. That was a blind bidding thing. If you weren't familiar with it at the time, people bid blind. No one knew what anybody else had bid. And then it was a timed auction. So once the timer, I think it was midnight, I think we stopped those auctions, didn't we, on ColdCon? Everybody had to put their sealed bids in by midnight on a certain date. And then basically, sort of the next morning, the seller would be presented with an email to say, look, we've got your highest bid on this is X pounds. Do you want to take it, yes or no? And they either click yes or no. It was a binary choice. There was no backwards and forwards between buying and selling, which had its pros and its cons. It was people either liked it or they didn't. It was one of those kind of Marmite things. People who got it really liked it. It's a bit kind of corporate. It's a bit sort of like a business procurement type of blind bidding auction thing. But its kind of criticism is that you couldn't bid an extra bit more, or if you were the seller and you hadn't quite got a bid if you liked. If it was a machine, say you wanted £500 for your machine, and the top bid coming at 420 or something, there was no mechanism to go back to the buyer and say, well, look, I really want 500, you bid 420, you know, can we do a deal at 450 type thing. This new system does exactly that. That's what it's built to do. So both buyer and seller can negotiate until you meet in the middle. That's the whole point of it, to mimic kind of real life willing and dealing, really, in the good old-fashioned way. So yeah, that's the grand plan. I've wandered off a nice picture again, haven't I? I keep forgetting to put a decent screen up again, don't I? A bit more pretty to look at. There we go. Put that one back up again. Where did I get to on the comments? Nice to see you. Da, 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 da. Will people have usernames? No, because it can't be identified. That's the whole point of it. It's secret. Obviously, when you buy something off of somebody or sell something to somebody, that's the point we change exchange details. So all the negotiations happen anonymously, privately. All you see is the price moving up and down. And when the deal is struck, when the seller accepts the bid, that's the point. You both confirm. The seller confirms yes, they're happy to sell at that price. The buyer confirms yes, they're happy to buy at that price. Then we put you in contact with each other. But again, we don't divulge your email address or your home address or your phone number or anything else. It's up to you. Obviously, you've got to make contact with each other. But the idea is keep your messaging on the system until you're happy. And then say, yeah, you know, here's my number, give us a call. Or I'm in Birmingham, where are you? Da, 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 da. That's one thing people have asked you about putting a location. I think we'll probably put an approximate location. No doxing, but you know, we might put Midlands or UK or whatever. It's built for international audiences as well, so it's multi-currency. So yeah, there's things to iron out. There's loads of questions to ask. That's the whole point of getting the thing up and running with some cheapy bits of mine, which if they sell too cheap doesn't matter, but we can have a play with it. And people can say, oh, I need to do this, need to do that. That doesn't quite work. What about this? What about that? And then we can look at it and build in, you know, from feedback, those extra little features we need. So yeah, so no usernames. Hi Steve, have I got the time to look at outstanding lots? I'm sorting out outstanding lots of several people. It's my next week's project when I'm back off the TV job. To have a good day in the warehouse and the rubbish because there's stuff that needs to go. Mr. Treefrog, any luck? Yes, working on that one. I'll give you a shout in the next day or two as well. Mr. Treefrog, yes. I got a bit waylaid Sunday. Everybody wanted to talk to me, which is kind of nice, but trying to make my way from the barbecue to Paul's Arcade and back again took about 2 hours each trip. Plus I had my family there as well, so sister, brother-in-law and nephew and niece all came and they had a fantastic time as well. I think my niece emptied the pushers. Apologies to Paul for that. I think she went home with a pocket full of key rings, or 2 pocketfuls of key rings probably. But there we go. She likes sparkly glittery things. What can I say? So there we are, busy. Anybody else need to know anything? Otherwise, I think I'm losing my voice. So as I say, next few days I'm away. I'm down in Bristol on this new TV thing. Back hopefully Monday with luck. Monday late. So next live stream will be, I'll try and do on Tuesday. Might not be a huge amount to report by Tuesday because I'm not going to get much done between now and then. But yeah, we'll tune in again on Tuesday to catch up. Auction date I'm looking at still. There's just so much going on August, September. July, August, September for everybody really. Other meets up, family stuff, holiday, work, other bits and bobs I've now got to do. Now I've finally got mum's death certificate, which is a bit morbid, but if you've been through it, you'll know yourself the process and the things that are involved. And once you get the bit of paper, the other things you've got to do. So that's going to take a bit of time up as well. Yeah, there we are. I might have to increase my 20 hours a day to 24 hours a day. But hey ho, we keep ploughing on. We'll get there in the end. It'll all get done. Ollie says, lovely classic car, Tom. Yes. Mr. Treefrog turned up in his lovely Morgan, if you weren't there. Very nice day for trundling around in Morgan as well, wasn't it? I was in my transit van, not quite so romantic, is it, as a Morgan? There you go. There used to be one in the village here. Nice red one. I've not seen it for a few years. The guy must have sold it. Don't know where that went. But yeah. So yeah, onwards and upwards. If anybody else fancies doing a meetup, as I always say, if you fancy doing it, get in touch. I'm more than happily help promote it for you. Not sure I can really organise it if it's yours, but you know, have a little think. I know a lot of people don't like people traipsing around their houses, understandably so, but maybe if you've got a, you know, nice village hall or a pub room up the road or something. The first ever one we did at Northampton at the pub was kind of a bring-in show type thing. So have a think on that. Think a bit laterally. Maybe you've got a nice village pub, friendly landlord. You could take a few machines of yours in. We could all bring a machine along as well or something. Worked really well before. So there's an idea for you. Fancy doing it. And it means you don't have to travel. That's the bonus, isn't it, if you organise one. Well, it says, my sister's Merc wasn't too shabby either. Well, that's my brother-in-law's Merc, actually, technically speaking, but yes. Looks a bit like a drug dealer's car to me. I used to have a big black Jaguar, and people used to say that about me. I had an all blacked out Jaguar XJR, XJR, supercharged saloon. Fantastic car, loved it. Yeah. But yeah, it looked a bit drug dealery. Anyway, that sounds like a suitable note to stop, doesn't it, for the evening, I think. So thank you all very much. Hope that made sense on the new marketplace thing. It'll make much more sense when you can play with it than trying to explain it away on 3 different screens. I'm sure it looks super duper complicated at the moment, but it's easy. I've tried to make it really, really easy. Just remember that principle is just like haggling with somebody at an antiques fair or a car boot sale or in the pub over a pint or whatever, doing a deal. We're just bringing that online, essentially. Yeah, which kind of no one's done before. That's why it seems a bit of an odd system. And making the best of the wants feature, which I think would be really good for machine spares in particular. If you're wanting a bit for something, you can stick an ad out. I need an Norwin cup, I need a hinge for a door, I need a Jennings handle, I need a sprocket for my Mills clock, whatever you need. Loads of people have got bits that they can never be bothered to sell. They can't be bothered to rummage in the shed. But if you're desperate for a bit and you put a sensible price, a sensible wanting ad saying you'll pay £10 for a sprocket or whatever, somebody will probably think, oh yeah, actually I've got one you can have for a tenner. And bingo, there you go. They've got their £10. You've got your machine to fix, your part to fix your machine. So everyone's a winner, aren't they? And that's what it's all about. Right, on that note, I shall have a cup of tea. I've got to pack on my toolboxes. My tools are all over the place. So I can load the van in the morning and trundle back off into the mad world of television. I haven't done any TV jobs for a while, so yeah. That'll be a fun few days. Right, so I'll catch up with you, all being well, Tuesday. Keep an eye on your YouTube notifications, etc. Have a very jolly weekend, whatever you're up to. I'm sure it'll be going to be nice weather again. If you're out and about, spot anything nice, you know what we like: arcades, piers, fairgrounds, circuses, theme parks, seasides, all that sort of stuff. Take some snaps, send them in, and we'll have a good look in due course. Oh, and pencil in, I think I've already mentioned, I'm sure I mentioned, pencil in the weekend of 18th and 19th to drop stuff off at the warehouse and or pick stuff up. Aiming to be at the warehouse one day and probably do a meet up in the Midlands, probably Rugby Services again, because that seems to be a really convenient point. M6 Junction 1. For anybody who wants to pick up stuff from there or drop stuff off, etc. as well. So I've not decided which way around yet, but just pencil the weekend in. If you can only do one of the days, let me know, and I'll try and juggle them around as best as possible for everybody to see as many people as possible on that weekend. Super. Right, that's it. I'm off. Catch you soon. Nighty night.